You're listening to another Woodshop podcast, the okayest podcast of its type. Your hosts are Daniel Dunlap of Daniel Dunlap Woodworks, Peter Kapar of Petree's Workshop, and Braden Boakes of Littlebug Woodworking. You can find them as well as the podcast on your favorite social media channels.
Welcome to episode 251 of another Woodshop podcast, coming in hot off the Midwest MAYker Meetup, the number one MAYker Meetup in all of the Midwest near the Omaha area in the month of May. That has happened only once. If you missed the event, you should feel bad because it was incredible and we can't wait to do the next one. That's right, this is a confirmation. We're doing it again. Now, this event wouldn't have been as much of a hit if it wasn't for our guest and the MAYker Meetup's glorious host, the one-woman machine turning urban salvage logs into slabs, beams, cookies to supply the greater Omaha MAYker community. And on top of that, she does charity work like hanging out with Braden and Dan. Rock star behind the Omaha Wood Co, Meghan Sundermeier. Did I say that right? Sundermeier?
Yeah, you nailed it.
Why was that so fun and yet so hurtful? They're normally so cheeky.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. We know this is, it's already been like 2 hours with us. We're having fun, everyone, and blink twice if you are here under duress.
Just keep reading the
Really
cards.
fast. Okay, yeah.
Speaking of being under duress, Dan.
Oh, our patrons?
We skipped one week.
It's been a while. Lady and gentlemen, we have a few new patrons, and they are Kevin. Just Kevin.
Love that guy.
I don't know much else about Kevin, but thanks for joining, Kevin. We
Welcome,
also
Kev.
have Michael Storm. That's a kick-ass name, if you ask me.
Superhero name.
And Leger's Woodshop.
Legier.
Sorry, I know that's James. I will say that. And I'm sorry if I butchered your name, James. Now let's talk about our VIP patrons as we do.
Dan, stop saying it's so sexy.
Sean Renshaw. Just Sean Renshaw. And okay, buckle up. Take a nap because this name is long. Here we go. It's did you actually talk about woodworking on the last pod? It was flagged as contains nudity on my work PC. Awkward call with and they ran out of space. That is Nick. Okay, here we go. Chris Lamoureux over at Homefront Woodworks, Chris Greenwood at Evolution Custom Woodworking, Bigfoot's little brother, that is Alex Duffy from Duffy Woodcraft, Greg Bennett over at Windy Acres Works, Greg D'Ambrosio at GTD Woodworks, Damon from BWG Woodworking, Jeremy Claybaugh, Mike over at Woodwork and Weld. My forehead got sunburned at the MAYker Meetup. That is Alex Adams over at Type A Furniture. John Herbolsheimer over at Live and Laugh Woodworks. NV Woodshop. Nick Allthumbs Vreeland. I think he's making fun of me when I said he had 9.5 thumbs. Jared LaPuma at LL Builds Woodworking. Tyler Booth from Temecula Yard Games. Henry Lutens at Manfreda Wood. Justin Frazier from Fraser Canyon Woodworks. Sarah with Rosie's Woodshop. El Jefe over at Maker's Way. Victor at Wim Designs. I went to MAYker Meetup to see Max, Alyssa, and Ophelia read, and I almost lit Braden's G-Ruck on fire.
Oh, that's Nick Brim.
That's Nick Brim. We'll have to talk about that later in the podcast.
I forgot about that.
Oh,
I had two, and now I'm fuming with rage, with hate fire.
I went to MAYker Meetup to see Nick and Megan Brim and hit Braden's G-Ruck.
I had forgotten that too. It was a rough evening for me.
Bill Burkle over at WTB Woodworking, Malcolm at Bossa Nova Woodworks, 740,145 seconds until the time out limits. That's Patrick Ginsel, and he clearly didn't get the message to re-change his name. Ed Mancini at Mancini Woodworking, Chris at Chris Will Make, Willow Creek Lumber, that is Scott Shirk, Justin Bailey from Campfire Woodworks, and rounding them out, John Grubb at Grubb Will Make. Ladies and gentlemen, those are the VIP patrons. Hey, if you want to help us, like all of our patrons, you can go to iloveawp.com.
Yes.
Great. I was looking for confirmation.
Yes.
Confirmed.
Or if you don't like Braden's wacky little custom URLs, you can go to patreon.com/Another Woodshop Podcast. Sign up for one of the tiers we got over there. Our patrons get access to all sorts of benefits, early access to the podcast, the Discord. I'm probably missing a bunch of things, but I feel like I've talked enough. Pete, Braden, who wants to take the mic next?
Braden, do the thing.
Well, if you have not listened to the last, 800 episodes, I'm not good at math. If you have not listened to the podcast at all this year, heads up, we are giving stuff away. Our patrons deserve something for tolerating us, and so we've decided, and Dan has committed us to, giving away some sort of prize every single month for 2025 to our patrons. Every month has been awesome. They've been really, really cool. And this month is no different. Here's the thing. It's a surprise. We're not going to tell you. But it will be a box of things, new things, not used, like we're not garbage, but it will be new things. I know that an Oneida Dust Deputy Pro is going to be in there. Some Forstner bits. Some other things I don't know, but if you want to
brand new sock,
if you want to get in on this month's giveaway, we're calling it the kit and the caboodle.
I like it.
The mouse catoodle, if you will.
I don't want to get sued.
You just need to go to patreon.com and sign up for any of our paid tiers, and you'll automatically be entered to win. If you want to also get more entries after doing that, you can go to arethechairs.included.com, and that will take you to our St. Jude's page, and every $5 that you donate to St. Jude's will get you an additional entry into the giveaway. So I'm Braden, live from Omaha. Back to you, Dan.
Braden,
And
if I didn't want to help us on Patreon, can I still go to the...
No, not this month. I'm not doing that again.
Okay.
That was a nightmare. Last month we had almost 2,500 entries.
Woo!
That was too many. We broke Excel briefly. Oh no, we did break the random name generator spin wheel thing. We broke it.
Yeah.
So, no.
I got out of hand.
we're going back to classic style giving away.
You could have just offered like 1, 2, 3, and 4. You were like 10, 20, 50, 100 for each tier.
Like many things in our lives, Dan enthusiastically committed, knowing that Pete and I would have to figure out how to make it work.
We do our thing.
That's what we get for being the assistants to the talent.
That's what it is. Yeah.
That's
Can
what
I be
it is.
the regional manager in this story?
Assistant to the regional manager.
Dan is
No, you're the
our
assistant to the regional manager. I'm the regional manager. I'm the Michael Scott.
Dan is technically our Michael Scott.
Hey, speaking of Michael Scott, I texted that to you. It's
like
perfect.
Perfect.
It's
Yeah.
perfect.
Put it on a t-shirt.
I'm going to send it to you, Megan.
But anyway, Peter, who else helps us with this whole rocket ship that we're constantly flying through?
Before I even get into the sponsors, you two need to quit it with the R at the end of my name. It's Pete.
When did that start?
Dan, you said Peter earlier, and I was like, I'm gonna let it slide. And then now Braden does it, and I'm like, I feel like I'm in trouble. This is not. No. It's Pete. There's people in my life that call me Peter. It's not you guys. And then there's Pete.
I'm gonna be honest.
What's up,
I think
my Peter?
Emma did this to me, like just her saying it. And now I'm like, well, is it Peter? Is it Pete? I'm just
She
gonna
calls
call
me
you.
Peter or Petrie.
I'm just gonna start calling you by your rap name, P Unit.
Oh, I thought
Unit?
it's Pistol Pete.
No, I
Pew,
don't
pew.
like that.
Not since the accident.
Call me Braden. I got it. Call me the outdoor dog. Let's make
That's
this.
it. That's it. I'm quitting.
Well, guys, I want to shout out one of the sponsors for the raffle we had, which was a huge success. We're going to get into that. One of the sponsors of the podcast, our dear friends, the machines they make are probably the third best thing at Onefinity. They've got Morgan and they got Stone. I'm not going to say which one's in 1 and 2. And then the third best thing they've got is these CNCs. They're amazing. We've all seen one or have used one at some point. Dan's just got upgraded from version like 1 of software. Not even. It was in like beta still. Stone came out personally because he was the only person running that version and was causing issues with their database. They came out and updated that sucker. But Onefinity, a machine so good, they stopped making it after model number 1, bringing industrial machine standards at a consumer level price. Onefinity has become the shop hold name, and it comes in every tier. It's dependable. You can get anything from the machinist up to the journeyman. There is some talk of a 4x8. It's mainly from just me, Dan, and Braden.
I've never
really want one.
It's just you and Braden.
But it's a machine. They have a machine that fits every need and every budget. So make sure to go check them out and all their awesome accessories that are shipping now. That's right. Go check out OneFinityCNC.com. I'm going to drop our affiliate link in the show notes. I don't have it handy. I probably should have it ready. But go check out OneFinityCNC.com and get yourself a new machine. Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, 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 pew.
Well, listen, speaking of awesome people that helped this community, people that have made one of the greatest maker meetups of all time happen, our guest today, Meghan, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for everything you've done for us for this maker meetup and you're doing for your local community in Omaha. But for those of us that are listening that don't know who you are, give us the elevator pitch. Who the heck do you think you are?
I'm an urban sawyer,
Ooh.
which is not a thing that people get to say very often.
Is that a soup?
Sawyer.
Pretty
Yes, it's a
badass name.
soup. No, a sawyer. That's what I do. I saw urban logs, make them into lumber. So anything that was. Go ahead.
I believe the word Sawyer is based off of Tom Sawyer. Is
Yes,
that
yeah.
that
Correct,
my understanding
yes.
correct?
Yes.
She also paints fences.
Well, she gets other people to
I
paint
think that was
fences.
Huckleberry Finn, was it? Or was that
Oh,
Tom Sawyer?
Tom Sawyer. No, Tom Sawyer convinced the neighborhood children to paint the fence
Oh,
for
that's
him.
right.
Huck Finn was a
I'm
rabble
a
rouser.
literary genius.
Was that the wax on, wax off Karate Kid?
It is yes, it is an early American Mr. Miyagi.
Is Tom Sawyer just Mr. Miyagi, but like the American version?
Actually, you could say here that Meghan is Tom Sawyer and that we happen to be the neighborhood children. She secretly wanted an event and she just
I made you
convinced
guys
us
do
to
all
do
the
it.
work.
You are such underprivileged children.
I just
Out of
provided
control.
the space. You guys did everything else. It was perfect.
And you
That's
cleaned
right.
up.
I did.
Look
clean up.
great.
Yeah.
It's like urban Sawyer. What is that? And like, what do you mean? There's no trees in the city? Where are you
There's
getting your
so
wood
many
from?
trees in the city. These are all trees that had to be taken down. So either construction, disease, storm damage, and we're just diverting from the landfill and the chipper.
So you're getting these massive slabs from cities?
Mhm. Yeah.
How did
Surprising.
one start doing that?
One had a brother that had a tree service, and he didn't want to keep paying someone to dispose of the logs, and so he and my dad went in on a sawmill together. And then I showed up with nothing better to do, and kind of took over from there.
When was
Awesome.
that? How long have you been in the business now?
2018.
2018. All right.
Yeah.
So it's
The business was around
Yeah,
from
7 years.
2014. Yeah.
7.
7 years. Hey, I should know that. That's literally the year I started my business. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Here we go.
2018. That was a good year.
2018 is when I graduated high school.
Oh my God, we have so much in common.
back to making it all about Pete.
So like, are you handling like the pickup delivery? Like, are you sourcing these, or are they just like people are dropping them on your front yard?
Most of the time, they're dropping them off to me. If I have to handle the delivery, I outsource that. I have a couple people I can send to go gather things because I don't have enough of a crew right now to be going around gathering things. So usually it's the bigger tree services that have the capacity to bring stuff to me. The smaller guys, they just end up taking things to the chipper usually.
Cool.
Yeah.
I
So-
hate the chipper. I refuse. I don't like that. And it's such a fun word. Like it's a word that means happy, but means mad to me.
Chipper. That's Braden's rap name is Wood Chipper. So
Gang.
do you get to like refuse material, or like do you get to inspect it? Because obviously sometimes they take trees down for that are sick or there's issues with them. Do you ever look at that stuff, or you just kind of
usually the people that work with me know the stuff that's good and they don't bother me with the other stuff. Every
know
once
better.
in a while,
She's laid on the hammer.
They did that one time. Now that guy doesn't pick up trees no more.
You know who you are, Phil.
No, a lot of arborists have a strong appreciation for the trees, and they don't want to see really good stuff go to waste. They know the stuff that's not worthwhile. And then there's the other stuff that they just want other people to appreciate it too.
And what do you do with the stuff you don't want to slab up? Like if it's just really rough shape or a bad piece or something, do you toss
Breakfast
it or do you
cereal.
burn it?
The roughest stuff I get is usually from homeowners who are sentimental about it. And so you have to figure out a way to make it work.
Oh,
Yeah.
like custom jobs.
This is an epoxy job.
Yeah, there's a lot of epoxy ones.
Listen,
Thank God
epoxy
for
fill.
epoxy, because
That-
urban wood wouldn't survive without it.
That brings up another question that I have. What is the most interesting thing you found in the middle of a tree when slamming it up?
Most interesting thing. We
Aside
ran
from
into
nails.
A person?
lots of nails. Rocks are worse because there's no way you can detect them except with a broken chain.
Oh,
I guess an owl nest was one of the cooler things because there was all the skeletons. Not to get too gothic, but all the
Here we go,
skeletons
back
of
to the
things.
gothic.
So,
Gothic
they were already pre-dead.
Yeah, was it like the owl pellets, or was there like an owl like
Just like the pellets,
yeah?
just like the
okay.
little whatever they had
Okay, good.
scavenged. Yeah.
oh, okay. I was expecting like an owl, like
No,
Oh shit!
just so spooky.
No, the tree guys find that stuff. It's gone by the time we get stuff.
And then they got to get the owl guy involved. There's an owl guy.
They're now gone.
So, everyone's dying to know, what was it like to fire Dan?
I think I bored Dan to death. I had him on the flattener for days, and I think he just fell asleep and decided not to come back.
This is the worst CNC ever.
To do all the work.
A little throwback. If you listen to the show, if you go back maybe a year or so, I was talking about how I worked in a shop with Megan, and I was running her slab flattener, and it's all manual slab flattening with a joystick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
This
still
is the person
pretty,
I was working with.
it's still pretty badass.
It's a
badass.
kick-ass machine.
Yeah, there's a reason it's
but it
manual.
desperately needs automated.
Yes. There is an automated feature, but
Wait,
if you automate
you just had to flip a switch the whole time,
no.
and you can
have to pay
automate
for
it.
an upgrade. You have to pay for an upgrade, and it's all lasers and mirrors, and you have to set it up for each slab.
High school kids are
Oh,
cheaper.
Braden got excited about that. High school kids are cheaper, and quality is better because you can slow down for knots and bar conclusions and stuff.
I would imagine that like running it manually does have its benefits because you can, I mean, here's the thing. If a machine starts, you hear from across the shop, like, and you're like, oh no. And by the time you get there, that bit's gone. Like you just stop.
That's
you just
true.
take the joystick, and it's not like a cool Xbox controller, right? It's like
It's like an Atari.
Commodore
Atari.
64.
Yeah. It's like that.
So,
There's no button on it though.
do you have outsourced the automation at this time, right? To
Outsourced to
a
people.
a teenager.
Yes. Yeah, I have some people that come in and help. I don't run the place in 100% by myself, but yeah, I have a Wednesday crew and I've got a little high school helper right now.
It'd be really, really convenient if the kid's name is like Gregory or something, because then you could still have G code.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, see, slap that on a t-shirt.
So, well, I'm curious here because like your dad and your brother were just like, hey, let's just get a sawmill. You know, we have so many people that listen to this podcast that either have a sawmill, did that exact same thing, or want to get a sawmill because like, well, there's all these logs laying around.
Way cheaper to make my own wood.
It's just cheaper to make my own wood. That's literally actually I'm wearing a shirt. Bill Burkle was like, I don't want to keep buying logs. Honey, I'm going to buy a mill. And she was like, sure, whatever. And then he's like, I don't want to wait to dry. I'm going to buy an eye drying.
Yeah.
I feel like that was your dad and your brother probably.
Yeah, it's a rabbit hole. Yeah, if you just get a mill, you're not going to save money because you're going to have to pay someone to dry it and flatten it and do all that stuff.
So like, I know, they were doing tree work too already. And I guess what was how many years were they doing that for? I mean, they were just chipping it?
That's a great question. I don't know how long my brother
It was
in
just your
business
brother
before.
doing tree work too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad wasn't part of that. They went on the sawmill together. But yeah, you usually have to, even if you're dropping it off to get it chipped, a lot of those services charge you to drop off the trees. And so it was just another revenue stream in my brother's eyes.
And
I mean,
are
it
you
seems like the right thing to do if you're an arborist.
do something with it. Well, I've recently learned about a service that it's something chips.com. Like you can order chip drop. Yeah, that's what it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, where you can like order if you need wood chips on your property, you tell them like how much you need and roughly like what chip, what cut or whatever, and they'll like add you to a list. And that's what
Really?
arborists do. They'll mill it up or chip it up and then drop it at your property.
You can get logs from them too.
Really?
That way. Yeah, you can tell them you want logs instead of chips.
Oh, that's interesting. I had some logs dropped from our neighborhood. They took down a bunch of ash trees, and I just had them. I asked for I was like, I just need like 5 or 6 for some firewood. They dropped
They give you all of them.
They dropped a truck.
Is this where I make my joke about dropping logs this morning?
Dead
No,
ash.
No.
Okay.
I feel like there's an opportunity for us to start a competing business called Chips and Chips. Thank you. Bits and Bits. Come on.
No,
Or
that's
Omaha Chip Company.
Mhm.
Omaha insert thing company.
It's like,
Yes.
oh, I thought you guys made like snack foods. Like this is just wood.
It's all fiber. It's all fiber.
Mm.
Now, are you
No.
running the same machine still to this day? The same
mill.
The
Mhm.
same mill?
Yeah. We added a baby mill. That's what I call it. It's the Woodmiser LX55. It's just a 20-inch cut.
Oh,
The
just.
Was that it?
Just a little
Yes.
baby,
Just- that's
little
it.
baby 20-inch cut.
So wait,
Well,
what was the first
The
mill?
Lucas mill does 5 foot by 20 feet.
Damn,
Not
Yeah.
bad.
that's big.
Yeah.
That was the goal. There's a lot of people that can have hobby mills. The goal was to specialize in massive.
Wow, they really
So-
didn't mess around.
Well, they didn't
Wow.
mess
And
around at
like,
all.
so what's something like that run? What's the maintenance on that? Tell me a little bit about the machine, because again, we got a lot of big dreamers.
Let's crush some dreams.
Yeah, it's crushing
Oh,
dreams.
I will crush your dreams. Equipment maintenance is the huge part of my job. Huge part of my job. That's half of what I did today was equipment maintenance.
So Dan's
It's
out.
a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's not
You can't
plug and
just.
go. No.
Yeah, that's what I want. I just want like hit a button and go.
So
That's
you,
it.
yeah,
There's not
this
that.
doesn't sound like the type of business that you could, quote, ride hard and put away wet. Like,
I mean, technically,
This
is
is
it water cooled? You
surgeon.
can put it away wet, right?
Yeah.
Right. If the blade is water, come on, help me out.
Yeah, you're supposed to dry it. Yeah.
Damn it!
So that the blade doesn't rust.
Damn it!
but like you wet it and then dry it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so you can't put it away wet. Son of a bee.
And
So
What's a mill like that run, by the way? Do you even know? Like,
Cost wise,
yeah, for the 5 foot one.
you'd be looking at minimum of 17K, I think.
You.
whew,
That's
Yeah.
not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
I'm gonna wait for the Onefinity hobby version of the mill.
Right? Actually,
Yeah.
Harbor Freight sells a mill too, and I think it's only
They
like
do.
it was
They
like a
sell an electric one, I think.
Boogie, boogie, boogie.
really.
Yeah. I had a few customers.
Look out,
that
Megan, I'm
decided
coming
to
for
get
you.
That.
I'm buying it.
Go for it, because I haven't heard great reviews. Nothing against Harbor Freight.
Oh,
Do it, Dan.
damn,
Definitely
this
do it. It's gonna be horrible.
Can I get one from Temu?
So I just
Yeah.
found the gas one. It's $2,500, and it's got a 301cc gas engine. This is a gas one. But I remember when someone reached out to me many years ago, and they're like, "Do you think this thing is worth it?" It was $1,200. It's literally double the cost.
$1,200?
Yeah. Like now looking back, like I probably should have done it if I had the space.
Inflation's a real bitch.
Listen, you've got tear out and you've got tear if. So
Oh, there
boom.
we go.
Zing.
Cutting capacity 20-inch. So like it's not bad.
It's a
baby mill.
Yeah.
It is a baby mill.
That's what we
But
just learned.
that'll do a lot of, charcuterie boards and stuff.
Toddler mill. Step up.
That was
20
a low
20-inch max.
jab.
That'll do a lot of
No.
charcuterie
That was
boards.
a low key jab. That'll do charcuterie boards. You little bitch.
Maybe you could split your ZCIs if you angle it right, Dan.
Oh, you guys want to cut wood that you can lift by yourself? Oh, that's nice. I'm gonna use my loader.
Speaking of, can we talk about when she let Braden drive? What do you call it? The Gale?
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, you can get a 32-inch portable sawmill from Temu for $2,600.
No.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, I got they just gave me $300 in coupons.
See, you can't go wrong with that.
Dan, if you set it up in your driveway, you could just use the slope of the driveway to feed the
just roll the.
That's gravity fed.
Legitimate way to set up a mill.
Yeah. I mean, looks like
I'm not gonna lie.
That's from Temu. That looks like Woodmiser.
That looks like a ghetto Woodmeister.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's definitely the Woodmiser patent that the people that made it just decided to not put the logo on it, and now they saw on Temu.
Here's the thing: if I had to just make crappy beams for post barn or something,
Post Malone.
Yeah, Post Malone barn. Yeah, that's honestly probably great. It would probably just live long enough. Jeez. All right. Well, so you got the saw. They start slabbing this thing, all that stuff up.
Let's talk about the other heavy machinery on your property.
How soon afterwards were they like, "This is ridiculous. Like, we need to dry this faster." Like, how long after that did they get the eye dry?
Not until 2021.
Really?
Yeah, we air dried everything before then.
Ugh.
And that's a long process. That's a year per inch of thickness.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy long.
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
So is it just like a rough, like if it's 2-inch thick, takes 2 years? Okay. Because I don't know if there was like some kind of like when it's, I know, but if it's like thicker, if it like is like incremental towards the center, because obviously if it's like a 3 or 4-inch slab or cookie, like, is it just going to take 3 or 4 years, or is it going to be like, it starts being
Probably
like a diminishing return?
More. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was always curious about that. If it was just like a very rule of thumb, it's always true, or if it
No, it's just rule of thumb. It's not a perfect linear relationship, but it's close enough that.
What about cookie versus slab? Like a cookie,
faster.
Cookies dry faster.
Mm-hmm.
More open grain.
There you go, guys.
Exactly.
Cookie tables. Don't even bother with slabs.
You just have to cut them thick so they don't wafer.
Lick.
Sold.
Yeah. Yeah, Dan and I got slabs that somehow don't. They defy the logic of 1 inch per year, because I think they were sitting drying for like 4 or 5 years.
I don't think they were.
These are the ones that you guys got on Marketplace?
Yeah, I think I told you about this, Megan.
Yeah.
Megan,
I know.
No.
It's not just like some rando off of Marketplace. No, it's a coworker of mine. Her husband does.
Yeah. No, that's totally valid. I think part of the problem was you guys resawed one.
We did.
We resawed it when we thought it was dry, and it was not. So the inner part of the slab was
wet.
Still wet.
Yeah. What was the moisture content?
The equilibrium was like way off.
What was the moisture content on that one?
Oh, it had to have been pretty high. It had to have been
cold glass of water on a hot summer day level.
Okay.
It had to have been upwards of like high teens, low 20s.
I want to put this in perspective. So we're in Braden's shop, and there is just like a what looks like just either a stack of bodies or slabs in a corner covered with a tarp. And at some point, Nick Brim goes over there and he like checks something, and he's just like, you just hear him like ratcheting, just like really pushing it, and I'm like, that is a loaded gun. That is like when you try to take a spring out of a car. Like, it is fully loaded. That's like, if that strap ever like just goes, those slabs are just gonna like boing into the ceiling.
And I frequently stand on it.
Wait, is this still there and still?
It's in his shop.
We're ratcheting it down. It's down to like half of the bend that it had before, which means it currently only has about 6 inches of bend in it.
It was really bad.
It was essentially a half circle.
Have you guys tried taking the straps off yet?
No, because then I'd have to like dig the whole pile out, and it's underneath where I glue up everything.
Okay.
And
also, if that happened, you might see a mushroom cloud from West Omaha. There's a lot of tension under there.
Braden expanded the shop just upwards.
Yeah. I will confirm though, Nick, after ratcheting, he did pull the string, said it ain't going nowhere, so you're good.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Should be fine.
Now,
It'll be perfect.
When I do need to move them, though, we're going to need to use something else that's on your property.
You just want an excuse to use that thing.
It looked lightweight once you resawed it. It looked like you could just hand carry that one.
You can't tell, but she is jacked. She can lift slabs like it's nothing.
Well, yeah. I mean, she was just moving them by hand for like the first 3 years.
I've seen her do it.
That's true.
That experience of driving, what was it called? What would you call it?
The Gale.
The Gale.
She's Gale. That's her name.
Just Gale, like the gale of a hurricane.
Wait, is it called a Gale or is it that?
It's a Gale 540.
Gale. Okay.
Getting to drive that. I'm still riding the high. Like I was a toddler getting an ice cream cone.
You're not allowed to make the joystick joke.
Nope. Yep. Nope. That was an accurate description, but not a great joke.
He came in giddy. We went across the street. We're like, this is watching a little child.
He didn't even know you guys left.
We left.
I heard
we left while he was in the middle of that.
I heard murmurs. Okay, so for anybody that doesn't know what the heck we're talking about, it's basically a tractor with a claw game attached to it.
Claw.
But it's also like a center pivot one. It's not like the wheels don't turn, the whole body turns.
Yeah.
It's like a
and
dog.
it picks up logs, and you would think like, oh, I'm like, this is going to feel like it's straining. This thing doesn't even notice these logs. This thing's a monster.
That's pretty cool.
I know that you guys were talking to me while I was driving that thing. I didn't hear one single word you guys said. I got done. I hopped off, and I looked around like, where did everybody go? Well, we went across the street. They told you like twice.
I wanted to do that too, because one of my dreams as well, just to run heavy machinery. But after I saw you, I'm like, I can't sit in that seat after him.
I wonder why.
Let that boy air out.
That was the highlight of my year. That was 2025 right there.
You wouldn't shut up about it.
I still won't. Honestly, I am like, you know how like you're a little kid and semi trucks and tractors and like all the stuff that as an adult you're like, this is really uncomfortable and really annoying to drive because you got to do it for work. But as a kid, all that stuff is just awesome. I've gotten more down the line of like, this stuff is awesome. Like I want to be uncomfortable driving tractors and stuff because they're just so freaking cool.
Braden, remind me to take you to where my brother works and let you get in one of those giant snow blowers for the airport.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
In the summer, that'd be great.
Well, yeah, they're not going to let him anywhere near actual snow with those things, but you can get up in it and sit in the seat.
Guys, here's an idea for next year. We do a claw machine game. And just to add insult to injury, we're going to make them all really thin charcuterie slabs that are flat on the ground, and you have to try to pick them up. And they're taper side down. So it's really hard to grab with the claw. And whoever can get it, you get to keep that.
You know what I want to see?
Charcuterie board.
Good.
No, you know what I want to see is Dunlap picking a dime up with a forklift. Because
he kept saying he can.
I know.
I can.
I believe him. I want to see. This should be a thing that happens at the
also. Jeff Hankey, I don't know, or jumps in a forklift and just moves it like it's nothing.
I gave him the keys.
Finding out he was forklift certified, full mast, pitching a tent.
Stud. So, I mean, and that happened at the event. So why don't we get into what the heck we did with our weekend here?
Yeah.
So, Megan,
Yes.
Dan comes up to you, says, I've got an idea. And you thought, yeah, this will be fine. What on earth were you thinking?
Pretty sure she thought I was crazy at first.
We all thought it.
You
we still
are.
do.
I figured it's either going to be a couple of guys roasting hot dogs around a fire, or we're actually going to get an audience. So either way it's good.
So did it end up being less, more, or equal to your expectations?
More, a little bit
Aw.
more. Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, given that it was 5 weeks before the event.
Yeah, it
we
wasn't
decided
a
to
whole
do
lot
it.
of time.
Yeah.
I think it was
And-
more. I think it was more than that. It was like
I'm
8
pretty
weeks.
sure it was it?
We had a
5 or
long
6 weeks sounds about
runway.
right. But here's
It
the
wasn't a
thing.
huge runway.
Here's the thing. We had been talking about it amongst ourselves, Braden, Pete, and I, for like as long as I can remember. We've
Yeah.
just been talking about, Pete coming to town and hanging out. And we had talked about hosting a MAYker meetup, and then that other conference, it was around February is when we started talking about it real heavily, because that other conference that I won't name had announced that they're not going to do it anymore. And I'm like, this is the perfect opportunity. So let's do it. And I just got tired of talking about it. And I was like, that's it. I'm going to go talk to Meghan, and we're going to make this happen.
Yeah, you made it happen.
I think it came together pretty well,
It did. Yeah.
Go big or go home. I think we're going to do it bigger next year and see where we can go from there.
We can definitely get more people next
Tickets
year.
are already on sale. You can get them for $1.25.
If we don't have at least 300 people there next year, what's even the point? Like, we might as well just stop.
Right?
Honestly,
What is
the
even the point?
Omaha showing was a little lighter than I thought it was.
Shockingly light.
We need flyers in my shop next year.
Yeah.
Let people know.
We'll do more local reaching out and stuff. I think.
I mean, we created a local event, so it would show up to everybody on Facebook. We created
the
single...
Facebook event like 2 or 3 weeks out, right? It wasn't like a whole lot of time.
I don't know.
There's some competing events going on too.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think we're up against like graduation parties and whatever else is happening around town. So like things are starting to get warm and nice out, and there's a lot of things happening around town. So
yeah.
Here's the thing.
And there was an arts and crafts fair that was on too that same day.
Oh, great. So Dan and I can get smoked out by junk stock, but then we put on an event and the craft fair wins. This is friggin' ridiculous. I want to know who I need to talk to about this, because this is it's clearly something ist.
I'm not sure we need to go straight to the mayor.
Right to the mayor.
Well, apparently we need to talk to the guy that ran for mayor for next year. The guy that like started the Makerhood or was heavily invested in it.
Oh, RJ?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did run for mayor. Yeah, he'd be all about it. He wanted to come actually,
but like many that also wanted to come,
did
couldn't get across the finish line, guys. Do better.
Do better. How many people do you guys think we got there?
I want to say 54.
All right, so
I
we've got
say
that.
50
Yeah.
is absolutely the floor. I think we got more than that.
Because there were a
think
lot at the beginning that left before raffle time.
And can we talk about the raffle?
Yes.
Guys,
Yes.
22. So Mike Suter did a post. He said it was 2150. But even I think Jesse came in right as we were wrapping up. She donated as well.
That didn't count the cash. The cash
donation. So we're at like 23 and
Wait, we
change.
had cash donations?
We have a
We had
$50
one
cash donation. We were trying not to take any, but we're like, okay, we'll do it.
Who's holding the cash?
I gave it to the money
pod.
guy. Can I borrow $10?
No, the pod is just going to donate it. That's how it works, Dan.
Oh, okay.
We're just laundering cash through the podcast to donate money for little, for children.
I need a few dollars for gas, so if you guys could like reach out to me, that'd be great.
Does that? I thought your new truck just like had a crank on the back. You just wound it up.
No.
But I don't know about you guys. I was not expecting, like, I didn't know what to expect for this event, and I just kind of wasn't like setting myself up for like, oh, we're gonna raise $2,000. I was thinking like 1,000 maybe, like if that. I don't know. I set the bar low. We blew past 1,000 in the first hour.
We had talked about it, and you brought up the number 500. If we reach 500, that would be a massive success.
Yeah, I would have been. I don't want to say now. I don't want to say 500 because it seems really low, but like I would have been happy with that, you know. And
yeah,
people
really came out for the raffle, and that was awesome.
People so generous.
I really love the people that showed up and donated, and bought a chance to take home an item.
Well, a lot of people donated for the one night with Stone.
Was that
Onefinity? Yeah, the sign was incorrect. People didn't realize it was in a Onefinity.
I didn't buy any tickets because I thought it would be a conflict of interest if I won, but
I was gonna put in for some stuff, but Dan yelled at me, and I was like, okay, you're right. We can't donate. We can't. We can donate. We just can't enter to win.
Yeah.
I think that the thing that really like pushed it over the edge was the grand prize, which everybody's going to say was the CNC from Onefinity.
No.
But in actuality, everybody knows that it was the upwards of $15,000 worth of art.
Incredible.
That we donated.
Valued
signed posters, valued at. I had them appraised by somebody who got their appraisal degree off the internet, ChatGPT. 3 posters of the 3 of us signed. And you know what the best part about it is? And Ed noticed this afterwards. We never even took the posters out of the frame because they were like museum quality. We signed the glass. The second somebody tries to like clean dust off of that, they're going to just suddenly no more signature.
It was signed with permanent marker. It should be fine.
Unless they use like an abrasive or something. But anyway, so don't clean those.
Next year, we already know what. Well, first of all, we can't take them out. They were museum quality. They were sealed with paper in the bag.
Sealed up, yeah.
That is a one-way street.
That's why they're so valuable, because of the way they were sealed up.
That's right.
Yeah. Like, and I know we have the photo now for next year's already. The prom photo.
That's right. Oh my goodness. That was so fantastic.
That was great.
Midwest MAYker Meetup 2 AWP Bugaloo.
Yeah, big shout out to Justin Limages for coming out. He did headshots, and it was an amazing job. Full color.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Great job.
A shout out to Nick Brim for bringing Hammerschlagen.
Yes.
Which, by the way, Megan, next time you have a massive stump, just set one aside. Cut it.
Just never run it through.
Level it out. Yeah. If you don't know what a Hammerschlagen is, it's a giant stump. You put a 16 penny nail, like just a little bit in, and 3 inches of it or whatever sticks out, and everyone's got a nail in front of them. What you do is you take a framing hammer and you flip it, and however you catch it, no adjustments. So if you catch it weird, that's how you got to slam it down. And you want to try to hammer in someone else's nail. And it was one of those things I was like announcing, like, guys, we're going to start a game. We're going to start a game. I feel like no one was like coming around. 10 minutes, or not even, like 2 minutes into the game, everyone was around the stump. It was so awesome. It was so nice to see everyone. And I did a head count at that point, and we're at like 45 people at that time.
Around the stump?
Yeah, around the stump. So
yeah, Nick got some great 360 camera views of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was super cool. That was a fun time. We got the axe throwing that Nick also brought in. Sutton cooking. Thank you, Sutton. This dude didn't even have a spatula to flip the burgers with, and still made it happen.
So we forgot a spatula and
the silver tins for the food.
Yes, too. And in a panic, I asked Dan Vollmer, who has a shop across the street from Megan, if he had spatulas, and he said, "Yeah, just go to my shop and get it." There was no spatula. All he had was tongs. So Sutton managed to flip everything with tongs, burgers and dogs.
Sutton was flipping burgers with a Festool track saw track.
Honestly, probably wouldn't be the worst. The plastic part would melt, though.
Well, hey,
it's flavor.
Little chip flavor, little Splinter Guard flavor. But yeah, Sutton cooked the entire time. There was evidence that Sutton is not an AI generated chatbot that Dan just had in his shop. He's a real boy.
He's a real boy.
I saw him talking to people.
Oh,
I am
he
so
was
proud of him.
socializing.
So proud.
Yeah.
Yep. He was
Also,
like, hey,
I'm not gonna lie. Listen, pretty easy on the eyes. That guy. Smash. Yeah. Yeah.
You
He
said
can
it.
get it. I can listen. So great. Although
it's a family of good looks.
Emma saw the stories from that day, and she goes, "Why was Carmine flipping burgers?" Because my buddy Carmine's got long hair.
They do look
It
similar.
looks like Carmine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sutton flipped burgers in full PPE.
Oh, I can't believe Sutton works for you or with you. You adjacent?
Adjacent. He's me adjacent. Sutton is making my dreams come true. If my dreams were commercial spray foam application. So, but it's fine. I just convinced the owner to let me buy a specialized, it's literally a modified Milwaukee Sawzall, but this thing is modified to offset the blades so you can run flush to like studs and cut foam off. The blades are 36 inches long. This thing is a murder machine. It is fantastic.
How wide are these studs?
Wait a minute. I got an idea. Build a jig for that Sawzall.
Okay.
You now have yourself a baby sawmill.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. It's a handheld baby sawmill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even more baby.
Can't wait to see the rundown on that puppy. Like when you slice bread and you think it's perfect, and before you know it, it's a taper down to 0.
Oh, wedge style?
Yeah, wedge style.
That's how you get a wedge salad.
This could be a new style of table, that wedge tables.
Wedge tables, yeah.
Bad. Do you want a bad table? It's wedge style.
Do you want a bad table?
Put enough dressing on it, it's fine.
So we're probably going to do this again. I mean, very likely we're doing this again next year.
Probably. We are.
We're definitely.
It's happening.
The nice thing is I at least for me, I got the sense of like what it was like with that many people, what we can handle, how we could space it out, how we could advertise better. Like
we
Facebook.
can handle 300 more. Easy.
Yeah. So we're definitely going to go big next year. We're going to advertise it a little better. And, Megan's going to be nice enough to host us again. We'd probably have the same location.
Have we asked Megan if we can do this again next year?
This is awkward. What if she says
Let's ask her a little closer to the event.
Do.
What if she's like, I hated every second of that?
I hope we sent some business to you, honestly, because there was people at the event that had no idea who we were. And I was like, and we were super offended. Like, do you know who we are? But there was also people that were like, I had no idea this is here. I'm like 30 minutes away or something like that. Or they're in Omaha or whatever. So it was really nice to, hopefully we sent you some business. That's all
Yeah, I met some new people.
Right on.
No direct business yet. I'll let you know.
Nobody's bought anything, cheap bastards.
Well, Megan, if you're going to be involved in it next year, is there something you would do different?
I would put a slab in the raffle. No question.
A slab in a raffle?
Yeah.
A slaffle?
Oh.
If you want to jumpstart on that, and I'll be the sole ticket buyer, I would love either that curly walnut or that burl slab.
Yeah.
Or
those would be good candidates for a raffle.
But listen, some people fly in, so maybe also like a 40-inch cookie. Easier to check on a plane.
Yeah, that's true. There would have to be a local and non-local version.
Carry-on size.
Well, listen, if you win the slab raffle, you
could just give it to Dan.
Really nice Polaroid of the slab.
You holding it.
Oh,
and then you get to take it
in my
home.
shop.
Yeah, it's like a catch and release thing. Like you get the picture with the fish, and then you got to put it back.
Catch and release.
Well, there's a show title.
Catch and release slabs. So dumb. I love it. But I mean, so we had. I mean, that was like one part of the weekend. That was Saturday. Like we were running around. We spent so much time in the car prepping.
Oh my gosh!
I just
Too much
want to
time
point
in
out.
the car.
There's one other thing that Megan is too polite to say that we would do different next year.
Leave Dan home.
We would help her clean the day before.
Directly with Pete and I.
Oh yeah, there's that. Or no, better yet, wait. Let's start a group
Dunlap
chat.
did a decent job, but I did
Decent.
have to listen to the podcast to know what times you guys were showing up.
my
So basically,
God,
the
Dan.
worst possible. He did an okay job. He technically said the words. I just had to listen to 2-hour segments every week to figure
Braden.
out when this was happening.
Group chat. We start a group chat.
Oh, another group chat.
You did this
No,
to
it was
yourself,
fine.
Dan.
If
I
anyone's
knew
listening
roughly
and
what
has
time it
Dan's
would be.
number, start a group chat with him.
No,
Loves it.
no.
All I know
Far too many
is
group
we
chats.
were at the event and everything is going swimmingly as Pete and Dan kept promising to me that it would.
Yeah.
And I don't
told you
know.
it would.
I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but I put off like the biggest lie that I have told anybody on earth is that I am easygoing.
He's
And I have like convinced people that I am. I am not. I am a stressed out wreck 99% of the time.
I've learned something about Braden while staying. By the way, I stayed with him. Great accommodations, super comfy couch. Shower had no cold water. It was only hot, like fire hot. Anyways, different story. But I learned something about Braden is that he played the host this time. So like I flew out to Omaha. He acted as the host, meaning he was running around planning, organizing, stressing, all that stuff. Dan was Dan. And then when you guys come out to Jersey for the MAYker camp, that's me. I'm stressing, I'm organizing, I'm coordinating, I'm freaking out, I'm like all over the place. And Dan's Dan. And then Braden's like Braden's also trying to like help, but like just kind of hovering, you know, like we were basically role reversal, and it was really nice to see the opposite side of him. Like, okay, I need to help. But at one point you were lasering stuff like late into the night, and I'm like, I am no longer help. I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm tired. Please don't stay up too late. And then he stayed up for 3 more hours.
I was gonna say
That's typical
I was
for him.
lasering all the signs because I got the idea in my head. Oh wait, we have the raffle things.
We need to do
But
signs months ahead, please.
Nothing. We have nothing else for this raffle. We have no
Oh my
signs.
God.
We have no like. If you do a raffle, like you want to take something with you, and we had several things that were being direct shipped. So like the WTB woodworking
We got the check.
I made a large, like an obnoxiously large wooden check, and everybody
Did you
came
get any
over to my
pictures of
shop.
that?
I don't.
We
I
should
could
have.
laser it again. I've got the file. Everybody comes over to my shop after we go on an excursion for chicken. We hit every single chicken joint we've ever talked
I'm
about
still
in
upset.
one evening.
To everyone, I did not get raccoon chicken. I saw raccoons. I saw chicken. Didn't get to taste them while watching the raccoons.
We've been hyping up Alpine Inn for like months.
Kind of
I'd like-
him.
I'd like to point out though, the fact that it was like a 3-hour long wait is kind of a
Yeah.
sign. Like we weren't overhyping.
It was a 3-hour wait at Alpine
3-hour
Inn.
wait.
Yeah.
Well, we went on
hang
the-
on.
we went
on the
on
Friday
Friday.
night. So
Yeah, Friday night,
Wait.
and it's not exactly a big joint, and they've started taking credit cards, so like everybody's there now.
oh yeah, they're
Yeah.
moving up in the world. Okay, wait. What's the place we went to? Dirty
Birds.
Birds. Okay, I need to tell this part of the story. So we all park at like up the street from Dirty Birds.
I know what's coming.
And we all start getting out of the cars, and you know, all of us out of the trucks, and then me and Braden get out of his Jeep, and truck-shaped Jeep. Anyways, these kids, these teenagers or high school kids, are walking by, and I start like walking towards Dan, who parked first, and they're like talking about. I guess they're talking about Dirty Birds, and Dan goes like, "Oh yeah, no, they're closed," and I immediately start laughing. Turn around and I grab someone next to me. I don't even know who it was. I turned them around too, and I just, did you just hear what Dan said to those kids? They're like, yes. I'm like, we're not gonna say anything. Keep a straight face. And I was like, I feel bad, but also I want to make
It
sure
was
they
packed, so
they can seat the 16 of us. So we get there, we order the food, and they're like, you know, figure out, oh, did you call? Whatever. And they sit us down, and they're like, it's gonna be a 45-minute wait. And then like we sit down, and these kids walk by. And then apparently some people locked eyes with them, like, oh, they know.
Well, they stood outside.
I'm sorry, it just came out of me. Like I didn't
So
even think about it. It's just
This is the only time I didn't correct you, because I was like, you know what? For the greater good.
They stood outside. Like we were 25 yards from Dirty Birds. I don't know why they didn't just walk over there and look.
Also,
But-
fantastic,
my word for it.
fantastic chicken sandwiches.
But
Right. No raccoons.
they stood because it took us like 15 minutes to wrangle up our convoy of chuckle-headed morons with
true.
love.
I blame Jeff Hankey.
Yeah, Jeff Hankey was in that. Actually, he was the sole chuckle-headed moron and it trickled down. It was like a multi-level marketing thing. With love. They stood there for like 15 minutes instead of just walking 50 feet over and looking in the window. They stood there like, oh, well,
They
should we go to
paused,
Spaghetti
like, we're
Works?
gonna
Where should we
plan the next
go?
They're mentioning some spaghetti place or something.
They called somebody and we're like, yeah, so we were just walking by and a guy said the Dirty Birds is closed, so we're trying to figure out where to go now. Like I heard them talking to like they're one of their parents or something.
Gaslit a
It
bunch
was
of
the
kids.
meanest thing that I'm actually 100% on board with because we were like this close to not getting seated in there.
Oh my God.
See, my actions actually did good for us.
I hate that I'm part of this. This is dirty. Ugh.
Megan,
Dirty
you've been to
Birds.
Dirty Birds, right?
Anyways.
No.
Oh, it's
Oh
great.
my God.
Try it. Oh my
Oh,
God.
my God.
Megan,
We're going.
So
Really?
good. So good.
It is
Okay.
probably the best fried chicken.
it's life changing.
any-
Don't get any of the
I've ever
mixed
seen.
drinks. They were terrible. Everyone
Okay.
complained about the mixed drinks. Just get a beer if you like it, and then just get the sandwiches. Ugh.
Life changing chicken.
Chicken and pancakes.
and chicken and waffles.
And pancakes, not chicken and waffles.
There's
They
chicken and
have
waffles,
chicken and waffles.
and there's chicken and pancakes, and the pancakes have like fruit on it and stuff.
And-
Like I was like,
Emphasis on cake.
I don't even like. I'm not a chicken and waffle guy. I love both of them, just not together. Honestly, I saw who was it? Was Gabby? Gabby had an order, right? Or was it
Gabby and
Ophelia?
Ophelia.
Ophelia.
Oh yeah, I saw the order of chicken and cakes, and I'm like, honestly, smash. I would eat that. That looks great. It looked amazing. Best
Everything
breakfast
is
ever.
made in house. They make the pickles in house. They make the breading in house.
The deep
they
fried
make the
pickles.
ranch in house. They make the chicken in house.
And
The
they're
fried-
now a sponsor of this podcast, right?
fried
Oh my
pickle
God.
chips were.
They
fire.
really should be. I'll send them a bill tomorrow.
Anyways, after that, we went back to Braden's shop. We watched him CNC. Stone fell asleep on the floor. We're all fading hard,
Did he
but trying to
really?
rally. He did. Yeah, he definitely fell
He's
asleep.
young. He's young. He's
Yeah.
still
So,
flexible.
I
enough that
left
that
early
won't kill him.
because Max and Alyssa and Ophelia Reed were in town and they had rented a Verbo, but they couldn't get in touch with the host.
Yeah.
For
Like,
the
at all.
life of them. They'd been trying all day. It was now like 8 p.m. And I was like, guys, just don't worry about it. You're going to stay with me. So I had to make an emergency call to the wife and say, hey, we got guests coming over. So we're actually going to have to clean the house. And by we, I mean you and the kids because I'm not there. So
Again, we're coming. Whether you want the house to look clean or dirty is up to you.
so I couldn't let I even told Max and Alyssa, I was like, the only reason I'm letting you stay with me is because you have a kid with you and I don't want the kid to sleep in the truck. So they came in and stayed in my basement. But they're great people. I'd let them stay anyway.
They survived, everyone.
They survived.
And then to wrap up the weekend, these psychopaths, and by these psychopaths, I mean Dan, drops me off at the airport 10 minutes before my boarding. I'm not even exaggerating.
It's
like,
fine.
hey,
It's fine.
10 minutes
It's
before my boarding.
Yeah,
Thank you, Megan. Back me
we're
up.
not
Yes.
Yes. Like, you're fine.
But
We're
you
not
have
gonna
to understand.
cut brunch.
Here's the
early.
thing. No, and I didn't. And was I stressing out at brunch? No, I was like quiet, but then I was like,
You were stressing
Hey.
pretty hard in the car.
well, because I was at one point I go, hey Braden, I board in 1 hour. And here's the thing, I'm from New Jersey, where if you don't arrive 2 hours early, you're not flying. That's basically the gist. You need to be in the airport, you have to walk over to the gate, verify gate exists, then you can go pee. Right? Like we live with anxiety out here, especially going to like another state like LaGuardia and JFK. Like you just have to be early. 10 minutes before, that's private jet shit. I'm not doing that, okay? That like
I have a spot up here on my wall that I'm going to start putting Polaroids of people that I have stressed to the point of needing medication about how I deal with airports. Like
and
And
I'd like
I'm
to
okay
say,
with that
listen,
at Epley, Braden, but not
Yeah,
LAX,
not
baby.
not
Not
everywhere
LAX.
else.
I
Things
will
just
say
work
this
out
though,
for me. I would always rather be lucky than smart.
Dan. If you pulled something like that back in the day with coffee, he would probably have a meltdown in the car. 'Cause like he also like he likes to be there early.
Man,
Like,
opportunity missed.
dude. I would
That's
like.
a
I don't.
waste of time at Epley.
I'd like to think that I was like I kept it pretty cool, but I was like I was a little
Look,
stressed
we
out.
dropped you off with 10 minutes to board, and you still had plenty of time. Did you not?
You
1
did
minute.
stories on your way.
Yeah, 1 minute.
You were fine.
Yeah, he was doing stories on the way, and clearly he wasn't that stressed.
I did the
He was-
story.
no, he was
and
stressed.
I left Malcolm. I was like, dude, I'm out. And I go through the thing. I go through pre-check, and I turn around. He's behind me. He's literally behind me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
and then
these
we like
guys
ran
were-
into each other in the bathroom real quick, but I made it. Okay, I
That
made
place
You
it.
is
had
so fast.
plenty of time.
I
That
know.
play is so
Guys-
fast. It's slower for you to use your TSA pre-check. Braden and I have studied that.
The morning of, as we're talking about going to brunch, he's like, I would really like to be at the airport 2 hours early. And I said, I said,
said,
what are you going to do?
I'd
with
like
your
to be at the
other
airport at
hour and 50
11:30.
minutes?
And I was still eating my country fried steak.
The
With-
Midwest Best from
Oh my God. I was
from
so
JJ's
slow.
Diner.
So good though, delicious. The gravy was a little light on a sausage, but you know what? I'll allow it. It's fine. But fantastic time in Omaha. I
Speaking
did
of
try.
stressing Pete out. Hold on.
I did
hold
try
on.
Casey's Pizza though.
Let's get to that in a minute because I got words for you.
I have words back.
Speaking of stressing Pete out, Saturday morning, my phone is blowing up.
Dan is not answering at all.
I was ready to murder Dan to death.
It's like, I think, when did you respond? Like 10:30? Or was it later?
Yeah, the meetup started at 11. I responded at 10:30.
Yeah, there was,
I'm
like,
still
set
not
up.
convinced that I won't just like accidentally lose you in the woods somewhere.
One day.
Yeah, what time did you guys get there? I wasn't even paying attention.
For the
Embarrassingly
record-
late. Like
For the
15
record,
minutes
I was
before it
there
started.
before them.
Yeah, because you had
Because you're-
nothing to do in a straight
Like
shot
10 minutes
there.
away.
That's why I wasn't worried about it. You guys were all like blowing up my phone. I'm like, that's fine.
Because
I got
we're
this.
hosting. There's things that had to be done before.
But
the
then you
event
reminded
started.
me. Then you reminded me that everything was in my truck, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I probably
I
should
should have
go there.
unloaded. Yeah.
Pete watched me shake with rage like an angry chihuahua.
I
the
yelled
entire
at Dan
drive.
at one point. I was like, yeah, because we're setting up. And then at some point I remember saying something about like, yeah, blah, 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 something about like running your mouth. I'm like, just like, I don't know. I was just going off like,
It's
let's
a
set
good
up
thing
tables.
we
'cause-
love each
'cause
other.
People were showing up. And again, me and Braden are
There
very
was
similar in that.
there was
we were
one guy
stressed.
that showed up like 10 minutes before 11, and he was super confused. I'm like,
He's
"You
like,
can
is this
hang
the
out
right
for a little
place?
bit, but we're still setting
Yeah.
up."
So next year, the key is signs are made a couple of days before. We all get some sleep. We arrive an hour early. Set up. That's something we should improve.
That's crazy talk.
Megan, what were your thoughts morning of? I committed my space to this event, but the event doesn't appear to be here. What was happening in your world while we
tables.
were running?
I
around
was still
wanting to yell?
focused. I was still focused on my list. I still had cleaning I was planning on doing.
Well, you had
Organized.
actual customers that showed up too.
I did. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I was open that day.
She had customers show up because she was in the back of her head. She was like, "This ain't gonna be a thing." So
Yeah,
I'm
might
just
as well.
gonna run my business.
I gotta
today."
keep the lights on, so I gotta sell
No.
something today.
It was, hey, there are more guests to the event. If I have customers picking stuff up.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Some
I
of your
had two
customers actually had lunch. So hey,
Yeah. They were excited about it.
And hopefully
Look.
they're listening to this podcast now.
at
Sorry.
the end of the day, the event was a success.
Yeah.
And everything worked out just like I said.
It was dragged across the finish line, kicking and screaming.
Mhm.
And we all
and Dan walked up with a drink in his hand, saying, "Oh, you guys done?
It
A
all worked out.
non-alcoholic drink.
Yeah, it
Mind
worked
you.
out just like I said."
Braden, like we said in the car, like, you know, in New York we have a saying, I'm walking here. Dan was
It's
just
all about
sitting there.
family.
Dan was just sitting there. He was just sitting here.
He was just walking here.
Now, listen, he's the face, he's the talent. He brought
That's
the
right.
crowds. He brought the crowds. We
it's our-
coordinated everything.
It's our job
We
to
were-
I
wrangle
was
the talent.
also
Me
I
and
was
Braden were just
also
running
like
around with a headset and a clipboard the whole time, like, What?
I was also like the Walmart greeter. I was running around and greeting everybody that showed up. And,
Hello, I love you.
I was like the Costco guy from Idiocracy. Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Look at Omaha Wood Co. I love you.
Shaking with rage like an angry chihuahua. That was me the whole drive there. Pete saw things that I wish he didn't in my emotional spectrum.
Come on.
Also, Chase ran away and detoured us for a little bit.
Oh, yeah. We had a 5-minute detour as my wife called and said, hey, the kids accidentally let Chase out. Are you near the neighborhood? Nope, but I can be. And then as we pulled up to the neighborhood, she texted, it's like, no, we're good. I got him. So we had a loop. Well, no, that was before brunch. That wasn't before the event. That was before brunch on Sunday.
So, and then the highlight of the weekend is I got to try Casey's Pizza. It was mid AF. It was Ohio Unrizzler.
It was New Jersey barbecue. That's what it was.
It was, here's the thing. I will give it this. It was already at room temperature for about an hour before we showed up.
Yeah, you were late.
Yeah.
Because I got them real food.
A good pizza should still be somewhat good at room temperature. Listen, Breakfast and Champions in Jersey, you know what it is? Warm beer and cold pizza.
See, here's the thing, Megan. Pete thinks he's a pizza expert because he lives near New York. He doesn't know what good pizza is.
He just doesn't.
He doesn't
think
understand.
Megan, what is your opinion on Casey's Pizza?
Okay, I was waiting for Pete's review though, because I
took one bite and I was like,
oh, good.
Honestly, I listen. I am a garbage disposal. I'll eat anything. I'll eat a whole pie of that Casey's Pizza if I'm in a mindset of I'm gonna have a pie of Casey's Pizza tonight, a 6-pack of beer, and play some video games, and I'm just gonna regret my choices tomorrow. That's fine. I put terrible stuff in my body. That's okay. What I'm saying is, it was not good pizza on a scale of pizza.
You're a liar.
Dan, I'm sorry. It was a little.
You're
gross.
lying for the bit.
The cheese was too hard. The cheese was as hard as the crust.
You ate it when it was room temp.
It should still be edible.
Why would the cheese be hard at room temp?
Because it was made in a gas station.
There was a taco pizza that looked like mistakes were made.
I'm filling with rage like a chihuahua or whatever Braden said right now.
Because the cheese that they use has 3 E's and a registered trademark symbol at the end of it. It was. I first of all, I'm coming back to Omaha.
I am gonna do a fresh pizza. I'm gonna do a review because I know everyone's waiting for it. I want it. I want to be proved wrong. I'm also being told that pepperoni is the best flavor, and the other thing is you have to get the breakfast pizza.
Yeah,
breakfast
that's what
pizza.
I've heard.
Yes.
Okay.
Pepperoni is so blah. But
I heard of all the savory, whatever. Savory. Sorry, word. It's hard. All the savory pizzas. That's the one to get. But
Loaded
if you're gonna get
pizza?
one, get the breakfast pizza and do not eat. Someone said the taco pizza doesn't heat up well. Did you have that? I'm like, no. It just looked like it looked like white people taco night on a pizza.
That's exactly what it is. And it's fantastic.
Night. It wasn't even tortilla shells. It was definitely just like Doritos nachos, like chips. Anyways,
my go-to Casey's Pizza is hot sausage, onions, mushrooms, and extra cheese.
I'm just going to point out that prior to having to deal with gas station pizza, I got Pete here, delicious made in-house Thai food.
It was hella good Thai.
And then
what's your Thai spot?
Khao Nao.
Okay.
It's out here by me. It's right next to Porky Butts.
Send it in the group chat.
Here's the thing.
Group chat it.
If I have to go more than like 2 miles from my home, I don't go. Like all my spots are in my little bubble. I'm not interested in the rest of the world.
I'm putting in an order for Casey's Pizza right now.
I also unintentionally apparently made Braden feel inadequate in his own home because he had some company over and we're just like chatting and I'm just like a random guest, right? I'm Braden's husband from work, right? And like they start chatting and they announce they're having a baby. Congrats, guys. And we're talking, and then I was like, well, you just absolutely have to read this book by Emily Oster. And they were like, oh, we've read it. It's great. And then Braden's over there like, books are fun.
Listen, Aretha is highly educated. I have, and I'm not in any way ashamed of that. Like, it's great. The thing is, though, all of her friends highly educated,
You're
multiple
educated.
languages. I'm decently educated. I'm frequently the dumbest person in the room around where I'm at.
You never
So-
want to be the smartest.
person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
there you go.
Yeah.
I don't want to be smart.
That's what I heard from.
I was hoping to
smart
be
people.
middle of the road, but Pete comes in and Aretha's like, "Did you read any baby prepping books?" And I was
I
like,
didn't mean
"No,
to start a thing."
nature just taught me. I'm an awesome dad. You watch your mouth."
That's so bad. It's like, I finally have a thing to talk about. I just went through this. But guys, I gotta say, like, great time in Omaha. I would love to throw an extra day in there because we didn't get to chill at all. Like, Megan, I would have loved to come out and like actually see the operation, like what you guys do for the day, help you clean up. Can we just put that on the like on the docket, which involves moving slabs with Gail?
Oh,
Yeah,
that is the
there you
face he made. That's the exact
Yeah.
face he made.
Yeah, he can't stand up now for unknown reasons.
Excited.
But it was a blast. I think it's
Yeah.
going to be really cool next year, and hopefully we can raise more money. It's going to be dope.
Yeah,
And again, like, thank you for letting us.
it was
be
my
there.
pleasure.
Yeah, look
Oh
at
my
this guy
there
there.
he is.
It's the background on my phone now.
Well, we can. I don't think we should do a what's on the bench because we'll talk for 3 hours.
No. Yeah,
But should we jump into some questions real quick?
we did get a few questions. Yeah,
We did get a few questions. So let me pull these up now. Okay, first
there
one.
we go. Oh, I drove by. right.
You drove by. He was very happy, guys, and I'm very happy for him. I love big machines. I think that's cool. All right, so Alex Adams, who drove out and met us there, it was nice to see him in person, and he's got a question here.
Hey guys, it was great seeing you at the MAYker meetup. But after I got home, I had discovered I accidentally left the door to my shop open, and apparently my cat pooped on my chisels. And let's just say he didn't have a whole lot of fiber before that happened. So the one chisel that had some rust issues on the back of the blade, that's fine with some evapor rust. But the other chisel, the handle is made from elm, but it didn't have any finish on it. So I did hit that with some bleach, and I'll probably hit it with some vinegar as well. But it's right at the intersection between the handle and the metal where you've got that brass collar. So I don't know if there's any extra cleaning that I need to do underneath there to make sure that I don't have any issues in the future. So I'm curious how you would handle this particular situation.
I have an answer, but I'd love to. Anyone else want to jump in? Dan?
get rid of the cat right away. Get rid of it.
No.
Get rid of the chisels.
No,
Throw
don't
those
put that
out.
hand down, Braden. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Get.
No,
Get.
it seems to me like this would be the perfect opportunity for
Perfect.
you to get a mini lathe and make your own chisel handles.
Mm.
Ooh, like a mini,
Content.
like a 20-inch lathe.
No, we're talking baby. Get like a Harbor Freight midi lathe. Serious. I'm dead serious. I don't know if you're ever gonna get that travesty off of your chisels. I mean, cats are nasty.
You could say it was a bit of a catastrophe.
Yeah.
Wow.
Make some new handles. That's my answer. Megan, do you have any advice for
No.
young Alex here?
I like that answer. He should make a new handle. Even if he doesn't do a lathe, he could set it up on, if he has a drill press, he could do a mini lathe that way.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Mhm.
I think he does. I think we've talked to him about drill presses before.
I think he actually has a mini Harbor Freight lathe.
There you go. There you go, Alex. Do it.
That's the best answer because I saw his stories and it looks gross.
I want
I would never touch him again.
that clip. Best answer.
Oh no, we're not recording. Oh no.
Pete, what do you think?
Well, first of all, one of the best things for cleaning up rust and anything dirty is vinegar. I have a spray bottle of just vinegar in my shop. I have degreaser, water, alcohol and vinegar, and
You can put them all together and get hella messed up. If
yeah,
you
get
take shots.
real high. Yeah, like Casey's Pizza in the morning. You just ride a high all day. So vinegar is great because you can actually use it as a rust cleaner for any of your tools. So that's what I use it for. I just spray it on there. But a couple years ago, in a former life, like 7 years ago, I used to restore tools a lot because I was poor, and I would buy like a salvage tool that was rusted up in a barn and restore it, and then like use that and sell it when I got something better. And one time I got this tabletop, this whole saw, and it was rusted, and I was like, let me do a test side by side. So I did Evaporust, right? That's the liquid, right? Evaporust.
That's what Alex mentioned too.
I did vinegar. I did Coca-Cola, and the best results were Coca-Cola, and like second, like tied was basically vinegar. So like I'm not gonna drop Coke on there because that's how you get ants, guys. That's how you get ants. But vinegar is amazing at cleanup. I highly recommend spraying it on there. It cleans that up. It's also an amazing cleaner. So if you do a little like couple drops of Dawn soap, vinegar, some water, and you can add like some like if you have the diffuser drops for like nice scents in your house. I don't know if you have that. You can make a really nice safe household cleaner. And I use it in
salad dressing.
Yeah, if you have enough vinegar, but no Dawn soap in that, please. But seriously, though, it makes an amazing cleaner for all kinds of surfaces. I actually found that it's very safe for wood as well. So it's primarily vinegar and water, couple drops of Dawn soap. That's all you need. And it won't damage, it won't leave like weird spots on wood if you finish that, especially if you have a finish on it already. And if you want to clean up the handles, most handles do come with some kind of finish on them already. So hopefully it didn't like absorb into the wood. But I would try to take the handle. Oh, it did?
It did. They're unfinished, yeah.
Yeah, he said
they're
unfinished. That wood is tainted.
Gross.
That's why I'm saying make new handles.
But like, if you want to like seal it in, either way, you got to take that thing apart. You got to take the handles off of each thing and re-epoxy them into new handles. You know, might be if you don't want to turn them yourself. A lot of awesome makers out there that make, handles for things.
Or you could just, I think you could probably just buy them.
Or go to Harbor Freight, get a new set of chisels.
There you go.
There you go.
BB?
Vinegar, baby.
B-boy?
Trade the cat for chisels. Get new chisels. They would never be the same. And honestly,
and chisels don't poop on cats.
That's a big fact. Let's be honest. Get a real pet, like a dog or a parrot or a tortoise
or a child.
No, he has one of those.
Childs.
I think Alex and his wife Alex have a child named Alex.
Children still poop on things. Just saying.
Maybe the way you trained yours, not mine.
Man. Oh, I'll tell a story some other day.
Oh.
Let's just say that I call it the poop rocket incident.
Oh, that poor bandsaw.
Huh. So what's the next question we've got, Pete?
From Nick.
Hey guys, I have a dilemma. My current shop setup is split across 2 locations 3 miles apart. I have Thunderbolt laser and a 4-foot by 2-foot CNC, not in Onefinity, in a climate-controlled shed at my house. The other location is a storage unit. I have all of my traditional larger shop tools there. Cabinet table saw, meter station, joiner, planer, router table, and an array of benchtop sanding equipment. The situation is not ideal, but is currently my only option. I have made some duplicate purchases of my smaller cordless tools to put them at both locations, but where do I stop? What tools are an absolute must-have for that immediate post-processing of CNC'd items? Nick, NSM Woodcraft.
Ooh, good. Actually, good question. Also, 3 miles apart, it's a little rough. Like, it's just close enough to be great and annoying, right?
But far enough to just be annoying.
Yeah, a little annoying, yeah. I mean, honestly, for post-processing, you don't need a lot, but you do also need a lot. Sander, 100%.
Sander, yes, a
compressed
good sander.
Compressed air, 100%. Vacuum. A router with a flush trim bit if you're cutting tabs or things like that. Some people like the multi-tool, I guess, whatever. The most annoying tool in the world. But I think a router works great. And I guess a nail gun for attaching stuff to the bed on a CNC. I use that.
if
Sometimes.
that's what they use.
That's like the ones that I would need. I don't think I would really need like any other tool. At least for me, I'm not doing any like post CNC or laser. Oh, and then like chisels. Sorry, Alex. And some kind of blade to like trim up. Sometimes when a laser doesn't cut through, or if a CNC has chatter, you can kind of clean it up a little bit with that. That's my go-to for post processing. Brady boy, you do a lot of laser and CNC.
I can get by with a sander and a zhuzh tool. And that's about all I need to post process. I mean, if we're talking hold downs and stuff like that, nail gun needs to be there, but I am aggressive with how rustic I post process things. I might be able to get it down to like just one Swiss Army knife and a couple brown paper bags for sanding sort of thing, but I would be getting it off the CNC and then I'd be doing most of the finishing work at the home shop.
Let me ask you this. Do you sand after you laser to get the char off on the front and back?
No, usually I wait until I've got like 40 makers in my shop and then I have one of them do it. If I'm all by myself, yeah, I'll sand.
The reason I ask that is because, we've all gone to like Michael's or a store and they have like laser cut stuff and they didn't even clean up the char.
Oh,
it makes me want to set the place on fire.
The semi-tanned? Lightly tanned? Little sunburn?
Guys, come on, clean up. Little sanding. Jeez. Dan?
Let me introduce you to a little thing I like to call
God, help us.
A finishing pass. So it keeps the sanding to a minimum on the CNC. I don't know about any other software, but I know Vectric has a finishing pass that you can check. And that'll help a lot with chatter or whatever else. So it'll keep the sanding to a minimum. But, the sander is going to be like must have in the shop where I have the CNC. To answer your other question, where do you stop? You don't.
You never stop.
Never stop.
Hashtag can't stop, won't stop.
2 saw stops, 2 meter stations, both with a K-Pex.
Yeah, don't ever stop. What kind of silliness is that?
Might as well get two sawmills.
Might as well
too.
Yeah.
Not even baby ones. Big boy sawmills. Right, Megan?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm surprised none of you suggested just a bigger shop.
Listen, we had that conversation yesterday when you said my shop's too small, and I point out that it's like 94 feet by 65 feet.
I have to have retail space though. That takes up half of it. One more.
Well, if you can keep the walkways that we had, I think you're good.
Tough. Yeah,
well, listen, you're getting rid of the spray booth, right? So like, there's your
storage.
You mean the cat house?
You have a high enough ceilings. You can make a second floor and put your entire shop.
I have thought about.
Do you need 2 bathrooms?
Yes.
No.
Do you need bidets in both?
Yes.
Yes.
See, this is why Megan and I are friends. She understands bidets are life.
Dan went into shop for once and it was like, I could work here.
I'm just gonna point out. I'm just gonna point out that even splitting your shop in half, you're looking at 3,000 square feet. So
okay.
Weird flex.
Braden's not bitter at all.
No, that is tough.
I'm not
though.
bitter.
To be
I'm excited.
Split in between 2 shops. The processing or the planning ahead for him must be challenging.
It would be challenging. It would be very challenging.
I think he should move. I have an empty lot next to me. Move and build here.
Stop trying to sell that lot. At an angle and.
No, if I owned it,
invested
it
in
wouldn't
that
look
lot
like an abandoned lot.
There would just be a shop there.
Yeah.
Why don't you just put a shop there?
My next door neighbor and I have discussed splitting a building there because he does lawn care, like lawn mowing and stuff like that. So he would have storage space and I would have shop space. We have not figured out how to convince the HOA
HOAs are
to
the
let us
worst.
do it. But I'm convinced that we could probably just be like, hey, we're doing this. Catch these hands if you don't like it. And they probably would be fine.
We'll see.
Good luck.
Megan, is there a lot of post-processing in slab work?
Well, it depends on which stage you're talking about. Are you
Well,
talking
let's-
about just for
alright.
milling?
Let's
The
jump
the
back into
post-
questions.
The post stage.
So let's do, okay, log is dropped on your property. Take me
Yeah.
through the life cycle.
It gets milled, it gets stacked and stickered and air dries for a while, then it goes into the kiln.
Stretch it out a bit. So you pick it up with the big grabber.
Yeah, or the forklift, yeah.
And You
You
guys
just word pictures.
Then it gets reassembled. So you start with the first slab you take off and you reassemble into the log form.
you
and-
don't trash the first where it's just
Depends on how you're stacking. Sometimes I'll
Okay.
leave them on there just to take the brunt of the weather, the sun, and the whatever else is happening to it.
The Brunt, not sponsored.
Mhm, mhm. Then they get stickers. So like 1
Like
inch.
Daniel Dunlap stickers.
like
Mhm, exactly
like-
like those.
My Little Pony stickers. Gabby loves
No,
stickers.
just like 1 inch dunnage every 16 inches or so. And you stack directly on top every slab. So that
are all your stickers exactly the same, or are they just like scraps that you have?
we started off with all exactly the same. Now
Okay.
it has devolved into scraps, and I need
I
to
feel
get
like
that
that's
situation under control.
every mill I ever go to, I see their sticker pile, and I'm like, no wonder they're not straight.
Yeah, we
Oh.
started off with uniform, and it was fantastic. Now it's you gotta match the sticks to get started.
Now, do you
yeah.
do any kind of tracking on where the logs come from or anything like that, or
Mentally right now, I know a lot of them, but there's urban lumber inventory systems that I need to implement, and then I'll have a better handle on that. But yeah,
I don't.
so the whole processing thing, yeah, there's still a lot, because once they're dry, they've moved a whole lot. So then that's where you get the flattener, or you have a router sled flattening jig, or then you gotta do in bow ties. You gotta go hit up Dunlap for
Ew.
templates.
The bow tie king of Sarpy County.
Mhm.
And Douglas County might as well be. Might as well
come
expand.
on.
Oh, look at this
I
guy.
think you're the only local person selling them.
Probably.
I didn't tell you guys about my flight back home.
Uh-oh.
Did you meet somebody that knew the bow tie king of
No,
Sarpy
but
County?
she has a property on Sarpy Road, Sarpy Avenue, or whatever. And I was like,
Okay.
don't say it. It was the most polite, like older woman from Omaha. That then later I realized like she has early on dementia, and like I introduced myself 3 times.
Was she supposed to be on that plane? Like, did she know where
I
she
don't
was
know.
going?
Yeah, I hope so. I don't know. But anyways, she said, "Sorry, it's on Sarpy Road." I'm like, I know a guy. Wait. So back to slabs. How much of the flattening is done by just sheer weight of the slabs on top of themselves? Like, are they gonna move no matter what if the weight's there? Like, do you still having to flatten pretty heavily on all of them, or?
Done well, you're only flattening like 1/8 of an inch, maybe 1/4 of an inch, but on
Oh, it's pretty flat.
bigger slabs, you're probably looking at losing 1/2 an inch.
Damn.
And it doesn't really matter. You can put a ton of weight on them. If the bigger the slabs, then the more force they have, the more tension they have, they're going to do what they want to do almost.
They're going to
Yes.
move.
Yeah,
So-
they're going to move a little bit no matter
What's
what you
your
do.
go-to thickness that you go for?
Finish, I like to see them at 2 inches. So we
So you
try
go
to
like
mill
2.5?
2.5 to 3. Yeah, but it
Okay.
depends. We don't mill at 3 inches on the baby mill.
Well, yeah.
Smaller diameter logs, you don't really need.
And
to-
how long is that to dry? Those 3-inch boys? 2.5, 3-inch?
Not as long now that we have the kiln.
Well, like
Air
with the
dry-
eye dry,
air-
like are we talking a week or are we talking
No,
Hours?
you'd be looking at like a month. For
Oh,
3-inch thickness, it'd be a month.
damn?
That's still a hell of a lot better than waiting 3 years.
Well,
right?
yes. No, absolutely. It's still like I was like, man, it's a month of running this machine. That's crazy. But like
Well, yeah, but the ideal is you
Yeah.
have an air dry yard with stuff ready to go.
Yeah.
So most of the time, stuff's going to be in there for like a week because you're just finishing off from 15% and low.
So it's like air drying is like the sous vide cooking, and then the kiln is just that's the sear, the final
The final
Mhm.
sear, yeah.
the sizzle.
I like it.
Mhm.
Lock in the flavor.
And then if
Give it
you're
that crust.
if you're in any way competent and not a hack, you can flatten it just by taking off 1/8 of an inch, is what I heard. Megan
For
is
the
basically
little,
like,
for the
"Look,
little ones. Yeah.
The charcuterie.
I'm
the
great
little
at
ones.
this. If you're awful,
No.
1/16 of an inch."
It also depends on species. Some species are going to move a lot more. Elm
What-
is not commercially valuable because of how much it moves in the drying process.
Really? I had no idea.
Mhm.
I guess, I mean, you
But
don't,
it
you
sure
don't
is
really see a lot
beautiful
of
when
elm.
it's finished, though,
It
man.
is. Yeah.
I don't really see a lot of elm. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's
What's-
just a really mobile wood. So I sell it because
Oh, we never asked her
weird
the big
stuff.
question, guys. What's your favorite wood?
I don't know if I have a favorite. Elm's a nice underrated. Quarter sawn sycamore is hard to beat.
Oh, yeah. Agreed.
Walnut's lovely, but I get bored of it.
Here we go. There it
'cause-
comes.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's
I don't
just,
know
get
what I
bored.
take more offense to, that or Pete not liking Casey's pizza. I'm
Whatever.
pretty,
Whatever.
That I get bored
pretty
of
on
walnut.
edge. Right?
So
Pretty
there's
on
no,
edge
That's
here.
what
there's no Omaha
everybody wants,
redwoods?
walnut.
Pretty on edge here
No.
right now, guys.
No, Omaha redwoods. About walnut, this is what you're on edge about?
Yeah.
He's very delicate. It's emotional eggshells that we're walking on with him at all times.
I didn't say I disliked it. I'm just not going to say it's my favorite because I end up working with it so much
Fair enough.
that it ceases to be exciting.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Dan's like, I'll allow it.
No, he's still mad. He's walking it off right now.
Dan,
No,
would
I
it
get
make you
that.
feel better if I told you that I made a customer product out of Dan scraps and it was like 95% walnut?
Feel a little better. Thank you very
Do you
much.
feel a little better? I sent
Braden,
you a picture.
maybe you should start talking to the big dog over here, Megan. And
Slab
see if she
scraps?
Megan
has
scraps?
slabs
Megan
Megan
scraps.
scraps.
Because she's probably cutting off 2 feet off of a
Megan
rough
scraps are like
log. You could throw it into your Onefinity
planks
and
of
make a pretty
charcuterie
cool.
boards.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you might need to reach out. By the way, go to danscraps.com. Or is it Dan's Crap or Dan's Craps?
Dan's craps.
danscraps.com.
Sorry, you're emphasizing it in a very East Coast way. It's Dan's scraps.
Yeah, Dan's
Yeah.
Dan's
Craps.
Craps.
Dan's craps.
Omaha Dan's Craps Co.
I wonder if
.com.
DanielCraps.com is taken.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, guys, I officially am admitting to you that
Uh-oh.
I have a domain purchasing problem.
You've already admitted
I've-
this several times. You
Have
you
I?
also
No,
have
I mean,
the dementia?
I've joked about it, but like now I'm actually.
Oh,
I'm
now you're
actually
serious.
I'm actually serious. I have a problem. I brought 3 more the other day.
Did you buy omahawoodco.gov?
No, but it turns out that there's nobody sitting on NebraskaTableCompany.com.
Oh no.
And I'm just buying these things because I'm like, I might be able to do something with it. Or if nothing else, I can redirect them because somebody out there is definitely typing in Nebraska Table Company.
You know what's funny is like I can't do that with New Jersey. Cause like it just
Forget
doesn't
about
have
it.
it doesn't have a pizzazz. It doesn't have like New Jersey Table Company, New Jersey Wood Company. Like everyone's like, New Jersey? You're not making that's not
Jersey?
bagel, get out of here.
They got
Yeah.
trees in Jersey.
Yeah, like it just
feel
sounds
like-
stupid.
I feel like NJ Table Company would be kind of fun.
Braden, buy it. Go.
Eh. He doesn't have a problem. It just doesn't have the at least you
The
guys got the Midwest.
It doesn't have the je ne sais quoi.
the Midwest je ne sais quoi. Yeah.
It doesn't have the arugula. Where is
Like,
the Rwanda?
Omaha
It
Wood
doesn't have the
Company just
spice of cilantro.
It sounds, it sounds spicy like cilantro. You're right. Yeah.
It doesn't have that Midwestern hot sauce mayo.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Well, should we? I feel like we're grilling you on all this stuff. We can keep going all night, but should we start wrapping it up?
Which host
can't
of
go all- I'm good for
AWP
like 3
is
or
your
4 minutes.
favorite?
Dan, you're the person that was trying to cut the podcast short before it even started. I don't want to hear it.
He's third winding it now.
Yeah. Well,
Now
No,
he's
I was just
shifted-
trying to get
now-
you guys a start.
Now he's
Ah.
shifted into burning calories. He's in ketosis.
I need to make a run to Casey's because I need to like
a redemption
Dressy.
meal.
Yeah, I need redemption pizza.
Casey's, I'm so sorry they said things about you.
Oh my God. Well, Megan, I want to just thank you so much for hosting us, for helping put this event together and jumping on a podcast with us.
And just dealing with us in general.
Yeah, that's the biggest chore here. Really so thankful for everything you've done. If people want to find you or buy from you, where can they find you?
They better be local because I don't ship.
That's fine.
They can find me in the New North Makerhood in Omaha, just north of the baseball stadium, or they can find me on social at Omaha Wood Co.
Cool. And also, Omaha Wood Co does have a contact page there, so you can reach out via that. Yeah, she's got a lot of like amazing slabs, full like when they're stacked in order.
They're bulls.
Bulls, is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you can get like matching pieces and cookies and other things. Honestly, I was obsessed with the cookies because they were thick. Like they were
my milkshakes.
None of them had chocolate.
I don't want a
chips,
2-inch
so.
thick cookie. I want a 6-inch thick cookie, and that looks just badass for a table. So, anyways, they're amazing. Go check them out. I know a bunch of you guys that were there for the first time. You were pretty stoked about what you saw. Make sure to go check out Omaha Wood Co. Follow her on all the social media and stay tuned for a rebranding soon.
Mm-hmm.
Some stuff's in the works. Yeah. And the AWP boys are going to hopefully help with that.
Switching to the government name, Omaha Wooden Company.
Wooden Company. .gov.
I still say we go with Sunder Mifflin Wood Co. Company.
or like for sure, just like Woe Co. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Edgy. Yeah.
Owoko.
Like when it's like a weird, like
I don't
gentrified neighborhood, they just
I don't hate that. Owoko.
Do you live in Owoko?
Yeah.
What's the neighborhood that they like made up in How I Met Your Mother?
Oh, down from the garbage processing plant or whatever.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I would have watched that show.
It was great. You should see it. It's like The Office, but
It's not
the opposite.
It's got a laugh track. No,
Dow
thank you.
was Trepala. Dow is a
Das Trepala.
Downwind of the sewage treatment plant.
That's what it was. That's why you don't go see a house on a weekend. Anyway, speaking of not seeing a house on a weekend, Dan?
I want to thank our patrons. That was a smoother transition than when we started.
Yeah.
Thank you to all of our patrons. You help keep this slabbery slapping. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
That was awful. I get
didn't
it.
like that.
A little stretch.
It's a work in progress. If you want to help us out in that department, you can go to iloveawp.com or go to patreon.com/Another Woodshop Podcast and get signed up over there. Pete, would you like to thank anybody?
I want to thank our guest today, Megan, for joining us. Thank you again for being amazing. And want to thank Onefinity, our sponsor, for being not just a great sponsor of the podcast, but a supporter of the community and also a sponsor for the giveaway we're doing for the raffle. We raised a ton of money in large part due to Onefinity. So huge shout out to Stone and Morgan and the whole team over there. They're really doing some awesome work. They really, truly care about the community. And,
Can confirm.
We genuinely do only look for sponsorships and only answer to sponsorships that we are willing to support, that we use. And Onefinity is not just someone we work with, just an amazing brand. They're great over there. So huge shout out to them. And they're partially Canadian. So, very polite. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. I don't know where you're going with this.
Something maple syrup.
Yeah.
Canadian Tire.
In the month of June, every single order comes with a fresh order of poutine.
Boxing Day.
What? Seriously?
It's
like poutine.
not fresh when it gets to you.
I would love poutine more if it came from Casey's.
I hate
Can we
that.
get out of this episode?
I hate it.
God. And huge shout out to our big sponsor this month, Dirty Birds.
The bill is in the mail.
I'm definitely sending them an invoice.
They don't know who we are. Although they did repost a story of me just housing one of their sandwiches. All right, guys. Well, next week is just us boys. We're going to just do a nice what's on the bench. And I think we all got a lot of stuff happening. So we'll see you all there. Love y'all. Bye.
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 Love you a long time.
Bye.
Stop it.
Bye.
Megan.